Welcome back to part 2. Let's get started. Let's look at doing some modelling. And I'm going to come to the library, filters, stylize, and I'm going to apply the very useful indent filter to the chain. I'm going to come to the inspector and make some adjustments. The softness I'm going to set to 0.1, the brightness to 0, leave the ambient at the default. The highlight brightness I'm going to set at 60, the highlight sharpness at 22, and I'm going to rotate the light to 90 so it comes from the top. Then I'm going to copy that indent filter to my cogs layer, and I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm going to increase the softness to 0.2 for this one. The brightness I'm going to set at 1, the ambient I'm going to set to 0.6, and the highlight brightness to 100, and the highlight sharpness to 24. And also I'll increase the depth to 50. Now let's create some modelling on those cogs themselves. I'm going to come to my small cog, so I'm going to duplicate that circle. You'll notice that because that circle was darker than the teeth, it's created that 3D look, and we're going to follow that same principle by duplicating that. This time we're going to make it darker, properties, and I'm going to scale it down so I get a kind of rim, and then I'm going to duplicate it again. This time I'm going to make it brighter so it pushes out, and I'm going to scale it down to make a center axle, and you can see that bright is up and dark is down, and you can adjust the values accordingly. Very quickly I'm going to do the same thing with my large cog. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to make it brighter, to push it out, properties, scale it down until I get my rim. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? It should be darker to make it indent in, and then duplicate it again, fill color bright, properties, transform, and make my central spindle. Okay, so I want to make a cutter to cut out some spokes for the main drive cog, and to do that I'm going to turn on the grid again. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to make a new group, and I'm going to use the rectangle tool to make a shape that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 across, and let's double click that, bring that down. I wanted it to be 5 down. I was zoomed in too much. Okay, and then I'm going to add some points. I'm going to add a point there and another point there. This one I'm going to drag upwards, and this one very slightly upwards. These I'm going to bring in like that, and I'm going to make that smooth, make that smooth, geometry roundness, like so. L to make a replicator, shape circle, arrangement outline, align angle, rotate through 180 degrees. I'm not very good at thinking upside down, as you probably gathered. Scale it down a bit, make sure it's centered up, and I'm going to cut that group, Command X, and I'm going to come to my drive cog and paste it in there, and I'm going to select the drive cog group, add image mask, and I'm going to drag that replicator into the image mask. Come to the image mask itself and invert it. And there we have our spokes cutter. You can change that shape if you want, that'll do for now. And finally I'm going to add some lights and move them around. You'll see that they have an effect on the indent filter, so you have to start adding quite a few to get a nice look. But if you keep duplicating them and moving them around, you can get a really nice effect. Turn off the 3D layers and play the sequence, and there we have our connected cycle chain assembly. You can adjust the lighting of the chain and the cogs independently. I'm going to just reduce the highlight brightness on the chain like that so it stands out Anyway, you get the overall idea. I hope that's been an interesting tutorial, and maybe I'll see you again next time. Thanks very much for watching.